Something else I want to talk about real quick. I laughed my ass off for about 20 minutes when I saw this. Did you see that the Snyder Cut accidentally dropped early on HBO Max? Well, you know the circumstances, right? Like what happened?
So like I know that so Tom and Jerry was supposed to it was on HBO Max, but then like when people like tuned into HBO Max, it turned out to be like the Snyder Cut. And
I don't know. I picture a little kid watching Tom and Jerry, and this is not funny at all, but it kind of is. Like I picture like a family watching Tom and Jerry on their couch, and then
mhm.
suddenly it cuts to like bloody Batman or like the Joker doing something crazy. Like I don't know. It just I think that's hilarious.
I think it's just a pretty like shitty thing for that for Warner Bros. To do. I think they're like
Oh,
in
somebody
on it
got
with
fired. Well,
no,
they
I think they did that on purpose to like mess with Zack Snyder because they low key like I feel like they don't want
they do hate
Zack
Zack
Snyder.
Snyder, man.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of talk about that lately about like how crappy it was with just I like Zack Snyder. You know what I mean? I think his movies are he's a really unique filmmaker. I mean, he remade Dawn of the Dead. That's another thing. We're talking about Resident Evil and zombies and all that stuff tonight. His remake of Dawn of the Dead from 2004, it's one of the best movie remakes ever. And we talked about that in the remake episode. Have you seen that?
Dawn of the Dead.
It's the
Uh,
the remake of George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead from 1974.
I probably have seen it, but
It's honest to God one of the best movie remakes ever. He's got a new zombie film coming out called Army of the Dead, and that's going to be on, or I think it's Army of the Dead, something like that,
yeah, I think I
on
heard about that.
Netflix. Yeah, yeah.
It looks kind of dope.
He's got a real passion for zombie stuff, which I really appreciate because I'm a big not zombie fan. But yeah, I don't. I know a lot happened with Joss Whedon and um,
Which
just
don't get me wrong, Josh Whedon's a pretty spot on director because he did a decent job with Age of Ultron.
I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
just
It wasn't until I didn't realize that I don't know how I didn't realize he directed Age of Ultron until the other day.
you're dumb as hell.
I know I am. I just it like I don't know if I just blocked that out of my mind or what, but I
That's the
mean,
reason. That's the reason everyone was hyped for Justice League because when they found out Zack Snyder was like canned from the Justice League and they found out Josh Whedon was in it, they're like, "Oh my god, this is great! Like Marvel's taking gonna take over DC as well, and it's gonna be bomb." And then no, it like legitimately bombed in the box office, or it just sucked in general.
I don't know. I feel bad for Zack Snyder because I mean, the dude, look at what he went through. I
I
mean,
don't.
he
I
went
don't know what
through.
he went through.
You don't? You don't
No,
know what happened with Zack Snyder?
I just know that he got canned. That's it, and
Um,
he was pissed.
his daughter died. His one of his
Thanks. Now I feel
daughters
like an
died.
asshole.
I believe I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, but one of his daughters died. I'm not completely 100% sure about the circumstances, but she died as they were filming it. And I mean, obviously, the guy's got to go be with his family. I mean, you know, screw the movie. I mean, he did the right thing. He did what any good father would do. He went and he was there for his family. But I don't know why he got so much crap from Warner Brothers about it. But I mean, they don't want like it kind of feels like they're going out of their way just to like spite him. You know what I mean? And I know they're doing the Snyder Cut thing, but they're doing the Snyder Cut and they're releasing that on HBO Max because they know it's going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
They know that people are subscribing to HBO Max just to see that.
Yeah,
And
pretty
especially
much.
like this week leading up to it. I mean, we're filming this on the 12th, Friday the 12th right now. I mean, it comes out a week from today. You know what I mean? When this episode drops, when you are probably listening to it, it's coming out in 5 days. Like, and we can finally watch the Snyder Cut. So like, people are gonna be subscribing to HBO Max for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get why he gets all the hate that he gets. I think he's a unique filmmaker. I think he's a good filmmaker, and I think he did what any good father would do in stepping away and saying like, I have other things to worry about besides the superhero movie. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah, I,
think
I see what you mean.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all of the Joss Whedon stuff. I know there's
I know they did a pretty terrible job with Justice
I
League,
he did do
and
a terrible job. I will say that. I hated that movie. I've seen it one time and I have zero desire to rewatch it ever again.
pretty much,
I
yeah.
really don't.
I've only seen bits and pieces. I've literally seen the ending of Justice League like probably
Well,
more
I didn't
times than
it didn't really interest me when it came out. I don't know why it just didn't. Um
because people are already protesting. That's why. Like the second they found out Zack Snyder was canned, like he like said something like, "Oh, like the movie's not going to be the same." Just to let you guys know, and people were pissed. So like whenever the movie came out, they're like the bar is already set really low,
yeah.
and then it's still underperformed. So it's like,
Well, I remember
so
reading
now
the
that's when the whole release the Snyder Cut
yeah.
campaign came out.
Well, I remember reading the reviews and stuff and being like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll go see it because who the hell knows? Maybe it'll be great. And I never cared to go see it. And then probably about a year and a half ago, it honestly it might have been after everything shut down and everybody was at home, like March, April, May of 2020. I think it was on TV and I recorded it and I sat down and watched it and I was like, wow, this is terrible. Like it felt campy the entire time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because in Age of Ultron, it pretty much was a how do I say? It was a Age of Ultron was probably the most unserious movie in the Marvel
Well,
franchise, or for the Avengers. You know what I mean? So like, I
yeah,
knew I knew that
I guess I
I
could
kn-
agree with that. Yeah.
okay. So from what I'm looking at right here on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 40%, but the audience score it got
Cool.
a 71%. So the audience still liked it to a certain degree.
Josh Whedon's Justice League.
No, yes, but let me see if I can
Well,
find.
and there's a whole lot of people who are like, "Oh, the Snyder Cut's not going to be anything different." Look at the runtime. Justice League, the Joss Whedon's theatrical Justice League was probably what 2 hours, close to 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, give or take.
Yeah,
This is I mean, it's like 4 hours split up into 6 parts. I mean, like, it's gonna be a different movie. They went back and reshot. Of course, you're gonna have some recycled stuff from the theatrical cut because
no, he said nothing from the originals in there.
really,
Yeah, I think
I thought
I
there would be
read
a
that.
couple of recycled like scenes. I'm not talking like major 20-minute ordeal scenes. I'm just talking like shots. I figured there'd be like some of the same shots in there.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I think it's gonna be like night and day in regards to comparisons to how the Zack Snyder cut's gonna be. And
Probably.
someone said in the reviews, they said they are no match for the Avengers when it comes to entertaining us. The Marvel bunch fizz with energy and wit. This lot are far too dark and brooding, too much fun, and they spend much ages hanging around before we get to the action.
Mm.
Yeah, they spend a lot of times talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I remember watching the theatrical cut of Justice League for the first time. I do remember this now. It was like by the time you get to the climax of the movie and it's the big battle, I didn't care anymore. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then you get there and the CGI is so terrible and like the lines are so terrible. I was just like, okay. You know what I mean? Like I didn't care. And I know like I'm not one of those people that because there are people who think that every superhero movie has to be serious. Like you have like Infinity War or Deadpool. Like there's no, you know what I mean? Like there's no in between. And I know there can be an in between of serious versus like funny and campy and ridiculous on purpose. But I just felt like Justice League, like they just missed the mark, man, with the theatrical cut. So I'm every trailer and TV spot we've gotten for the Snyder cut, it looks serious. It looks well done. It looks legit. You know what I mean?
I think it's weird that we haven't seen any of the Justice League. You know what I mean? You only see them how do I say? Um you only see them like in the top of that like whatever the fuck it is, on the top of the thing when they're like at the end and they're hanging out. I've only seen like Darkseid, the Joker, and Steppenwolf. It's like they're only trying to show like all the
Yeah.
villains.
Well, I
So
think they're
I hope
trying to do that on purpose too.
I don't know what the reason is, but I hope to God that
I
they're
think it's
different.
I think it's A, to show how different it's going to be from the theatrical cut, and B, they're probably trying to save a whole bunch of different things for um they don't want to give it away. So I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I think it's funny on Warner Brothers that it released early because I screw them for being that way to Zack Snyder. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
pretty
know they're
much.
letting this go through, but I don't think they're letting this go through because like there wasn't some big change of heart at Warner Brothers where they were like, you know what? We're gonna give we're gonna give him his shot. We're gonna let him do this thing. I think they were like, we're gonna make bank off of this. So let's do it. I really do. That's from everything I've read and everything I've heard and everything I've watched, that's the vibe I get. And again, not hating on Warner Brothers. I'm just saying I think Zack Snyder deserves a shot, and I'm glad he's going to get it.
I do too. So again, I'm excited to see it, and I'm sure we're gonna do a review on that movie,
Oh,
and
we
I
will.
will 100% compare it to Josh Whedon's. I don't care how different they're claiming it's gonna be. I'm gonna compare it.
Yeah, we will. All right.